of the world. I promised a stream at 1 p.m., but there have been a lot of issues. So that's basically done and over with. I might turn black and white in the middle. I'm not sure, but that's technology for you. Regardless, I have Michelle coming in about 2 minutes, hopefully, and we will be talking to her about Sustainable Mai Khao, her project regarding beach cleanups and recycling plastics. I hope it goes well. I'm super excited to have you guys have a chat with her. I want to quickly check if this is working properly on YouTube because I was having major issues. I spent all morning trying to fix it. I was colorful, I was black and white, I was completely green as well. Excuse me. So yeah, at least my sound is fine. Let's see whenever Michelle comes. I hope her sound is fine as well and her video. And let's see. So there has been a lot going on. In Phuket, we might open up September 1st. We talked about this yesterday. It is kind of surprising that schools and different, you know, companies and some restaurants, they will be opening up. I don't know. So I just got a message. Yeah, Michelle's coming in soon. Yeah, but that's about it. And other than that, I'm curious what's gonna. I'm actually using Restream directly, so I don't know if the live chat is going to be accumulative of Twitch and YouTube, but we'll see what happens. If you guys want captions, let me know, I guess. Send us a message. No, thank you. Restream's actually a pretty good service if you think about it. Is it too bright in the back? I don't know. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff happening in Thailand in general in terms of cleaning up beaches, recycling plastics. Obviously, we can only do a lot more. There are a few things that a lot of expats have done in the past few years, and yeah, like forever. There's always a complaint that locals don't do enough, but I guess that's something that I would like to talk to Michelle about as well, and see what she has to say. Might be interesting. While we're waiting for Michelle, let's do a little background on Sustainable Mai Khao. So like they have been separating, they've been separating certain kinds of plastics. They've been picking up trash, especially during monsoon season as well. Let's see if I don't screw this up and actually have and actually am able to share the screen. share the screen, this window, Chrome tab. There you go. That's the one. Pretty sure you can see it. So yeah, about Sustainable Mai Khao, the About Me section is connecting and empowering our community to preserve our natural environment. That's as basic as it gets. They have about 400 followers. Obviously, it would be great for more people to join in. And this is what they actually did most recently. Can you guys hear this? Can you guys hear this? No, you guys can't hear that. But yeah, that's basically what they have done. Collect different kinds of plastics and figure things out a bit better for themselves, for all of us, I guess. Um, so there's that. So still, full stop. Okay, we have Michelle on. I can't I can't hear Michelle right now. Give me a second. Let me shut this screen. Hi Michelle, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you though.
You can't
Right,
see me.
Wait a moment. It's just something with the setting. Let me turn it around. Ah, I can see you now.
Perfect. I've been messing around with the settings all morning. I was about to call you and tell you that let's just do this face to face, but it's finally started working. Finally started working. How are
Okay.
you?
I'm good, thanks. Having a great
Good.
Sunday. How about you?
Yeah, it's really sunny today, isn't it? It tried to rain in the morning and then it just stopped. Really
I like
happy
the way
about that.
I like the way you say tried to rain. It's like that in the rainy season, isn't it? No, it's beautiful here.
Exactly.
Up in Mai Khao, sun is shining. I think I'll go to the beach later, take my dogs for a
Do
walk.
it. Do it. Do it.
Sure.
So you are live, by the way, on YouTube and Twitch.
So I'll say
And
hello, everybody.
yes, anybody who's watching. And I've opened chat as well, just in case if anybody who is watching wants to, ask you questions, because, I already know what you do, and it's really, really interesting. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who would be interested, regardless of, if they watch it live or they watch it later.
Okay, thank you.
So I was showing them the Sustainable Mai Khao page and your latest video. Other than that, I mean, could you tell everybody about yourself just a little bit, and then we can go on to actually Sustainable Mai Khao and other things that you do? Would that be
Sure.
okay?
Sure. So, just a brief background. I'm from South Africa. I came here about 22 years ago. I was backpacking and decided to just live here because I love Phuket.
Mm-hmm.
I love Phuket from the beginning. So, I've been teaching over the past few years. I'm teaching English to Thai students. I
Okay.
also tutor mathematics and I also help out with homework. But my main passion has always been environmental work. And
Okay.
way back when was it in 2008, I worked with JW Marriott for the Mai Khao Marine Turtle Foundation as the first coordinator. So we had
Mm-hmm.
many projects related to taking care of the turtles, which I realized was more than just turtle protection. It involves taking care of the beach, planting trees,
Yeah.
managing our waste, doing beach cleanup. So there was a lot that happened, and of course, education.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went back into teaching, of course, homeschooled my children, so did not have much time to coordinate projects. But now I'm back as my children are teenagers, and I've incorporated Sustainable Mai Khao Foundation. We just recently received our papers, and we are a registered foundation. So I'll let you ask
Fantastic.
me questions about
Congratulations.
that. Thank you.
I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that. The most recent update. That's fantastic to hear. When did you? How did you like start with this initially? Apart from like it was your passion and everything. Like, did you come from another side of the world where you saw certain things were going on and you thought that could be implemented into Phuket, or is it something that you thought while you were here you'll just try to figure things out?
I think it started way back when I was first backpacking. This was back in '97, and I was just like blown away by the beauty of Thailand in general. I used to do these train trips from Bangkok down to Sungai Kolok, which is on the border with Malaysia, to do visa runs, and
Yeah.
I was just amazed by the beauty and the wild side of it. But what really got me started was being on this train one day. I saw someone drinking a beer and just throwing the bottle out the window of the train into the
Yeah.
nature, and that one was like, oh my goodness, something has to be done. And I
Yeah.
think that was the seed of it all. It took a lot of years for me to actually get things in place and do something.
Yeah.
But now I'd say the past 2 years, just before COVID, actually, I really thought I got to get back into it. I mean, I love teaching and tutoring, but I feel like it's a passion and it's needed, and it's kind of like a purpose. So if anyone has that passion and purpose, they need to implement it, else it's wasted. And
I
that's why
agree.
Sustainable Mai Khao came about.
Yeah. And how many people do you have working with you, or is everybody just a volunteer at the
At the
moment?
at the moment, everybody is just volunteers, and the whole concept of Sustainable Mai Khao is to basically reach out to all stakeholders. So I have great networking with the hotels, the local oboto, the national park, the Puyai Ban,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
community. It's just like bringing everyone together because everyone has similar interests. Everybody wants a clean beach, but not
True.
like it's not up to one party to do it. It's not up to the national park alone because the beach is
Yeah.
so big. So it's to bring everyone together and make it our responsibility, bring ownership.
True, and I've seen posts on your Facebook page where you have been talking about like different sorry, separating different kinds of plastics and just monsoon rubbish, and I think you have been asked before by several people like where do you think all of this is coming from, given that for almost 2 years we have been like completely shut down because sorry, another part of this question is that when tourists were coming in, we the residents of Phuket used to blame the tourists because we used to think that they're the ones who trash the place up and then they leave and then nobody picks up after them. So what's your take on that? What do you think is the actual source of all of this trash?
I'd say most of it comes from, well, let's say a very large amount comes from people not disposing of their rubbish correctly. Okay, so that can be
Okay.
in the form of people coming to have a picnic on the beach and leaving their
Hmm.
stuff there. They're happy to
Yeah.
bring the bags when it's full of food, but then they leave it behind. Of course, some people will argue that there aren't rubbish bins, so what should they do with it? That's another story
Yes.
which we can discuss.
Yeah.
Secondly, I think it's about people managing their waste at home. As you know, we have 3 incinerators in Phuket. 2 are working,
Mhm.
1 is broken. And before COVID, these 2 incinerators could burn a total of 700 tons, but they were receiving 900 tons. So the extra
Yeah.
200 tons per day was going in the landfill. And out of 5
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
landfills, 4 are full. So what's happening is rubbish is either being, disposed of um, like carelessly, just people just throwing it or leaving it, or people are sending it to incinerator, but then the capacity of the incinerator and landfill cannot cope with it. So it ends up on the landfill, being blown back into the sea, coming back onto us.
Yeah.
That's one side of it. The other side of
Yeah.
it, it comes from other countries. During our beach cleanups, we found rubbish from Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, even as far as India. So I'm aware that there
Yeah.
are countries out there dumping their rubbish in the sea because they don't have proper infrastructure, and we are
Yeah.
coping with all of that. So I know beach cleanups are not the root of it. I mean, we have to tackle the source but that is a much
Yeah.
larger issue right now. So we can only do what we can in Thailand for now and hope that it will, ripple out as time goes by.
True.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. I've been watching a few videos, and well, before the videos, I remember a friend of mine did an interview with Trash Hero,
Yes.
and this is when Phuket Gazette was still alive, and she did a story on them, and it seemed like a really good project. And of all the videos that I saw, that one was something that really was really pushed forward basically into the public. But it seems like there aren't many videos except maybe a few tourist videos complaining about the trash, maybe picking up some trash on the beach for views, and things like that. But it seems like Phuket trash collection and general activities, they don't really get much media coverage. Why do you think that is, since it is a huge issue, for example?
I think that there are many groups doing great things on the island. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I even see like local groups. There are many groups, but maybe they're not broadcasting it enough, or they're broadcasting it in Thai. So we don't all have access to it.
Yeah.
As for on TV, every now and then we see like a big beach cleanup, but maybe people don't see it as important, or maybe there's just not enough of it going on. I know that the southern beaches, for example, Karon, Kata, and Patong, they
Yeah.
have the municipality cleaning the beach, as far as I know, or maybe
Yeah.
it's an outsourced company. But the rest of the beaches, it's basically, it's either national park groups or it's groups of
Mm-hmm.
governmental people coming on an important day like Mother's Day or things like that. So maybe
Yeah.
it's people are not broadcasting it enough, not getting the message out there, because it is happening.
That is
Maybe not
true.
as much as we want to, but it is happening. So
I
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Continue. Sorry, please.
I'm hoping with Sustainable Mai Khao that everyone who is doing great things in Mai Khao and Nayang and hopefully the rest of Phuket, I hope we can connect it all, link it up, and post it on our page so that people know what is happening. Because
Yeah.
I think, like I said, there are so many groups doing great things, but a lot of people don't know what the other group is doing. There needs to be like a central eco hub, for example, where we can post all the information so that people can just log into that particular hub and find out what's going on.
That
I
is
was
true.
hoping,
Yeah.
I was
Go
hoping
ahead.
Blue Tree, or even One Phuket. We've been discussing with One Phuket, and we work with Blue
Yeah.
Tree as well, just to try and connect everybody. Maybe through One Phuket, we've been discussing with Andrea, connecting everyone. So we have a sustainability side where people
Yeah.
know what is happening, and it can include from beach cleanups, rubbish collection, to
Yeah.
planting vegetables, to doing everything about sustainability. So that is the
That is
plan.
true. I mean, I feel like a lot of schools on the island do a lot of things, but from what I've noticed, it's mostly individual work. Like any YouTube video, for example, you see, and just in general in the media, there's like four friends who have come together. One I think is called Planet Cleanup, and they just come together, they invite some of their friends and their relatives, and then they just clean up and go. There's no consistent effort, like no daily effort. I think you have said in the past that it's not like a weekly thing that you can just do over the weekend, which technically most of us have the only option of if we have full-time jobs, right? So then how would you suggest that people actually start doing things on a daily basis? um, yeah.
Daily basis. Okay. Firstly, directly related to the beach, and this is one of our projects, to employ 3 to 4 local people to clean the beach on a daily basis,
Mm-hmm.
sort the rubbish, and then find out what we can do with the rubbish. Because it's no use just collecting everything and sending it to the incinerator or the landfill so it can be blown back into the sea and come back again, and we clean it
Yeah,
again next week. It has to be a full
exactly.
circle thing. So with what we're trying to do is make a full circle thing where we collect the rubbish, sort
Yeah.
it, clean it, and make sure it gets to the right places. But as for everyday people, there are always beach cleanups to attend, and that's why I hope we can have some central network like One Phuket or Blue Tree where people can just check what's happening this weekend.
True.
Also, of course, whenever you go for a walk on the beach, if everyone can just collect the rubbish in their path where they're walking, that is
Yeah.
already a huge thing. Also, managing our waste, I think that is super important. That's the source of it. If we can already start to sort our rubbish,
Yeah.
recycle it, and find out what we do with it. I understand people are fed up of sorting their rubbish, putting it by the rubbish bin, and the truck comes and puts everything together. So we know that's going to happen, okay? So let's try and find out where we can send, for example, bottle caps. You saw that on my post.
Yes. Yeah.
HDPE bottle caps can be sent to Blue Tree, as well as stretchy plastic bags, which are a big problem because they are
Yes.
easily blown away. That can be sent to Blue Tree as well for the One project. So there are many things like that: batteries, glass bottles, plastic bottles, even shoes. We're collecting shoes now and sending it to a company who
You
breaks
mean
it
like
into
flip
little
flops or
pieces.
just like any kinds of shoes?
Any kinds of shoes. Well, I'm basically speaking about what we find on the beach, which is 98% flip flops. So we send
Yeah.
it to Talay John and they make new flip flops.
So
So
this
I
is the
think,
trash hero thing, right?
are they connected with Trash Hero?
I'm not sure, but when I read the story back in the day about Trash Hero, that's about like 4 years ago. This person was actually making art and making shoes using trash. So I don't know if they're still doing the exact same thing, but I would like to actually connect with them as well. Maybe have them on the show and talk to them about what they're doing. But it might be connected. I mean, that was the main concept, so I have a
Mhm.
feeling that they would have like stuck with the whole project and just like moved on and made it bigger. That's my assumption at the moment.
I got to look into that. That will be very interesting to
Yeah,
know. But it's
yeah,
a great project, and I have 15 big black bags of shoes in my back garden, so I need to move
fantastic.
on with that, from the beach cleanup.
True.
So yeah, so just going back to people. So managing
Yeah,
your waste, everyone has to do it. We cannot just think about we put it in our bin and we're throwing it away because where is away?
that is
It has.
true.
It's never going away, even
That
when.
is the problem, isn't it? Like basically, my thought on in this respect is that if I, for example, go to a beach, I want to enjoy myself, right? So I'll like ride my skateboard, I'll sit at the beach, I'll go for a swim. What I personally feel sometimes that if I'm picking somebody else's trash without any gloves or something, so I'm talking about a normal beach trip, right? So
Mm,
if I go and I decide that I'm going to pick up somebody else's trash, then especially during COVID times, I'm actually afraid of getting people's germs on my own hands. So what would you suggest a person like that would do? Or you could say that directly to me. It's okay.
well, maybe carry some gloves. That's you
Yeah, there
could
you
you.
go.
And you know what? I understand about the COVID thing, but if we wash our hands in the sea afterwards, don't you think the seawater will clean it?
That is true too, yeah. It's heavy salt water for sure.
Sure. Or everyone has alcohol in their car or in their bag nowadays, especially.
Yes.
So even before COVID times, people were saying that they don't want to collect the rubbish because it's dirty, and I understand
Okay.
that. I completely do. But for me, I think a bit further. Like I can wash my hands. That
True.
turtle who's going to
Yeah.
swallow that piece of plastic
That
does not
is
have
true, yeah.
hands to get it out. So we have to weigh up what is important. And I know it's not everyone's passion. I've seen that. So,
Yeah.
but I do believe it's everybody's responsibility
That is true. I
because
think I think like if you're not the creator of the trash, quote unquote, technically you are, but if you're not, then you feel like you should not have to do it. Somebody else should be doing it. And that
exactly.
brings me to my next point that um, I was talking about this before you came on as well, that I've seen for at least 6 years that I've been here, Phuket expats, they complain about Thai people being dirty, and local like Thai people complain about expats being dirty. So like it's like a finger pointing thing, and I have a feeling that it just comes down to pure laziness, because you can point fingers at other people all day, but if you just keep quiet about that and just start doing it, maybe that would be more fruitful. Although I do understand that it is annoying. It is something that people are, annoyed about. Like, why do we always have to start something? Which brings me to my next question. Like, when people actually complain that other people don't do it, we always start something. It's mostly, in my experience, it's been expats who have been saying that. So, what's your take on that? Do you think that's true? That it's only expats who are taking care of things?
No, I think before it was perhaps like that, or maybe it was seen like that because it's the expats posting it on Facebook, or because we are expats, we hear about it. But
Yeah.
I've been amazed to see that there are many, many groups, Thai groups, doing things about it. And I really learned
Okay.
this in June when we had all those tar balls washing up on the beach. Do you remember that? Just before the
Yeah, yeah,
sandbox
yeah, yeah.
opened.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I was involved with the cleanups in Nayang and Mai Khao Beach. Okay.
Okay.
And Tim Newton even interviewed me and asked me, sorry, my dogs, he asked me the same kind of question, why is it
Yeah.
always foreigners starting it? And um, what I realized during that time with the tar balls is that there are many groups doing it. I mean, there were groups
Yeah.
and groups coming, like 50 people per day for 1 week, hundreds of people coming and just cleaning up the beach. So
Yeah.
there are many Thai groups doing it. I
Okay.
think they, like the national park, for example, because I'm in close contact with the national
Yeah.
park head just to find a way of how we can work together, because it's not
Hmm.
going to work, me as an expat saying, let's make this group and let's do everything. You have to work with the local groups, with the
I agree.
Oboto, and make sure that everyone is involved. And I think maybe they have so much on their plate, or it's just a different idea. For example, the monsoon season is so
Hmm.
overwhelming. The
Yeah.
rubbish that washes up is so overwhelming on the beach, and they don't have enough staff because they don't have a budget to
Yeah.
clean all of it. So they kind of just think, okay, never mind. The rubbish will wash up for 6 months or 4 months, and it will wash away again, and then the beach will be clean.
True.
So many people have this concept, but of course, personally, I feel while the rubbish is washing up, we've got to get it out there as fast as possible, get it off the beaches so that it doesn't go back into the sea and end up somewhere else.
True.
So I think that's why it looks like Farang are doing these things, but there are many groups, Thai groups, doing it too. Does that answer your question
It
in a
does, but I do.
diplomatic way?
I don't want you to get into trouble, but just in my defense, I didn't ask you why only foreigners are doing it. I did say that I did ask, like, why do they point at each other all the time, that they don't do it, they don't do it. But your answer did answer my question, so thank you for
Thank
that.
you. Pleasure.
But yeah, you were about to say something.
Also, because during the startup of the Sustainable Mai Khao, I interviewed many different people from different places about the rubbish
Hmm.
and things like that. And there was a lot of finger pointing. You know, some people said it's the national park's job, or no, it's the Obotor, or it's the hotel's job. Everyone
Yeah.
was blaming everyone else, or not blaming, but basically saying who they think should be the ones to clean it. And that's when I came up with this concept of everyone meeting and everyone thinking about brainstorming ideas of how we can sort this out. And basically, it's come down to this: the national park do have staff, but they only have,
Mhm.
for example, 3 people to clean 12 kilometers of beach. Do you see that? And
Wow.
then hotels on Mai Khao Beach. We don't have so many hotels like other beaches. So we have a lot of public area that is
Yeah.
not being taken care of by let's say the hotels or the national park, because they don't have enough people. And that's why I feel moving forward is obviously
Mhm.
to have like daily cleanups with the hotels. So what we're doing now with the hotels, there will be 3 days per week where each hotel will be leading a cleanup, and we will be
Yeah.
helping to coordinate to get people involved in that. So it'll be
Okay.
like Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays. Once a month, starting this Thursday, we will have a big cleanup, kind of like Phuket Green Day, but just in Mai
Okay.
Khao, where I
Yeah.
will invite everyone, all stakeholders to attend. And as it's COVID times, we will have to divide the beach into different sections and have kind of bubble cleanups. Okay, so that will
Okay.
start this Thursday every month. And after that, later, Sustainable Mai Khao will employ this beach cleaning team who will clean the beach on a daily basis with a roster. And I
Oh,
think that
okay.
will alleviate a lot of the problems, and then, of course, install rubbish bins and be responsible for these rubbish bins. I
That
think
is
it's the
true
only way
because
forward.
I think as soon as Thailand opens up, we're waiting for a huge number of people coming in, and that's a bit scary at the moment because when I look at beaches in Florida and different parts of Australia, there is a lot of trash, but then the tourists aren't the ones who are cleaning, though. That's the thing. The people, the locals in general, the people who are there are not the people who are cleaning. Is only a specialized staff, who have been given that job. They're getting paid for it, and they do that job on a daily basis. Maybe twice or thrice a day as well. And I'm just curious, like how how Phuket is going to handle that, or Thailand in general. Um, yeah, but what do you think about automation in terms of cleanups? Because can I show you a video? Can I show everybody a video and you and I can watch as well?
Yes, please.
Yeah, let me. I'm still trying to figure this out, so
Okay.
give me a second while I can, share this with you. No, that's not it. Um, there's that.
So it's machines cleaning the beach just to make it easier
Yes.
for us.
Yeah. It's machines cleaning the beach, and I'm just surprised. This is the first time I ever heard of it and saw it, and it's actually a good concept, to be honest.
Yes.
So I was just wondering, like, why we haven't openly heard of it. Um,
Well, we are discussing an ATV with a kind of like a sieve at the back that the ATV pulls along the beach, kind of like Santa Claus and the sleigh, something like
I
that,
I
which will,
think this is exact. Can you see this?
yes.
Yeah. So I think this is what you're talking about.
Well, ours would be pulled by an ATV, right? The all-terrain,
Okay,
a quad
okay,
bike.
okay.
So someone actually driving it. But this is interesting, this
Yeah,
automation.
because the reason I brought this up is, when we go to beach cleanups, we're basically using our hands, gloved hands, or whatever, but we're not really using shovels, right? Except that what this machine can do, it can dig 5 centimeters uh, into the sand.
Okay.
And let me just quickly open this, like forward it. So this is a precursor to that. This is a 1 meter square, right? So
Mhm.
if this person actually tries to clean it, um, they realize there's six cigarette butts and other trash that she can find as well. So literally in 1 meter square, for example, they have six butts of cigarettes, and then other trash as well. There's coins, there's plastics like that, and so like this is when she's, by the way, digging. So she's using a shovel and she's digging it, and that's how
Right.
she can find all this trash. And additionally, when they actually talk about the so this is the whole trash hero team, but yeah, so when they actually use this, they're also digging it, and they have a save in the back, which actually releases all the sand, but it like cleans up every other thing that needs to be collected. And they're like in about 14 kilometers 4 kilometers, they get about 3 kilos of trash, even
Okay. And
after successfully taking it. I'm sorry.
it's all the micro trash as well, the little ones that are difficult to pick up. So
Exactly.
that's great.
And that's what I was wondering. So for now, people have to control it, with a remote control. And is this something that you would think the country should invest in, like numerous versions of these, and I give it to groups like yourself that you can use?
I think for the beaches like Patong Karon Kata, it could be
Mm-hmm.
good because it's a very flat beach, right? Mai
Mm-hmm.
Khao beach is pretty steep depending on the season.
Yeah.
And our concerns about 5 centimeters is the turtle eggs,
Yeah.
because it's still a turtle nesting beach. Of course, the turtle eggs are much deeper,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
also the sand crabs and the jakajan. You know, that's what it's called in Thai, the mole crabs. It's something.
Uh,
It's found it's found closer to the actual the shore, but the national park are concerned about that because we've spoken about how deep we can
okay.
dig. I think it's a great concept, but it would work on some beaches, but maybe not all, or maybe in
Okay.
certain places. Also in Mai Khao, we have they call it pak bung tale. It's like the plants that run along the coast, right? Great
Mm-hmm.
leaves with
Yeah.
purple flowers. And the rubbish gets entangled in there. So we still need
True.
manual for that. But I think automation is something we need to look at. I mean, we have to find the right machine for the right beach, but it will definitely save us a lot of time,
Yeah.
and it will manage to, the beaches will be kept cleaner. I've seen it in Israel. They have much bigger machines that they actually drive
Mm-hmm.
like a truck, and the beaches are
Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
Although I wonder, does it pick up shells as well?
That is true, and yeah, what they do is actually they collect it into a garbage bag, but then before they collect it and throw it away, they take certain things out. So I didn't see shells in this video, but I saw rocks that they threw back onto the beach because you know that, but mostly it was caps, little bags. They had some bottles. They had some cigarette butts. So there's that. But I mean, I feel like, especially with the cigarette butts, since they made that rule about what was it, like about a year ago, when they said that you will be fined about 100,000 and a year in jail in prison. So a
Hmm.
lot of people actually stopped throwing since then. I do know that. I know people still smoke on beaches, but I've always seen them with boxes, cigarette boxes, so they just throw stuff in them. I think that's changed a few things. So maybe more, a bigger, stronger laws that are actually implemented, like very, very rigorously. Maybe that's one answer as well.
I agree. I agree about the laws. They need to be that they are implemented. For example, the beach is national park, so you're not supposed to take plastics and foam to the beach,
Yeah,
styrofoam containers, but people still do because there aren't enough people, once again, to monitor it and to enforce the law.
yeah,
So people see the sign, but then they look around and there's no one. Oh, okay, let's just do our thing. So
that's
that's a
true.
little bit of a challenge. But I do see what you're saying about the cigarette butts. When we clean the beach, I hardly ever find cigarette butts. Honestly, it's really maybe one or two in the whole cleanup, whereas we have 15 bags of shoes. So
True. Maybe they need to make separate laws, I think, for every single kind of item that is left behind. Do you have a list of things that you have ever picked up in your years of cleaning up beaches? Like
uh,
things
you,
that are available to be picked up as trash. So we
yes,
can make laws on each of them.
I've got it. I've got about, let's say, 10 different things. And when we do our
Okay.
beach cleanups, we separate into 10 categories. I'm
Okay.
sure the people who clean with me hate cleaning because it's extra work. But what we do, we're trying different techniques because we tried the
Okay.
technique of collecting everything and then separating, but that feels like double work. So what we
Yeah.
do is we put 10 bags out, open them, and you just collect and you put it in the bag if it's a small
True.
area. Or
Okay.
we designate, we say like one person will collect plastic bottles, another person
Mhm.
shoes, and that seems to be working well. But
True.
I have this list. For example, do you want me to say
Yes, please.
what we have?
Sure.
The main things we find on the beach are, of course, the HDPE caps. We find a lot of those. Plastic bottles, not many because people come and collect plastic bottles because they can sell it.
True.
Glass bottles and glass containers, we still find quite a few, including broken ones.
Okay.
Shoes, a lot. Ropes and nets from the fishing industry, we find a
Yeah.
lot of that. And we have a good project now to sell those as well and recycle.
Okay.
Lighters, we find a lot of lighters. Light bulbs that come from the boats that catch squid because they need the lights to attract the squid. Straws and general rubbish. And of course, we
Okay.
had tar bowls before. So those are the main things that we collect, and then we separate and send. Let's say we send the general rubbish to the incinerator. The foam,
Mhm.
we are looking for ways to reuse the foam. I've heard that there is a possibility of reusing it, but I need to
Foam,
investigate
you
that further.
mean? Oh, foam sponges. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, like the big pieces of
Yeah.
styrofoam that we
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
fishing industry. That is
Yeah.
dangerous because it breaks into small pieces and
Yeah.
never biodegrades. The
Yeah.
lighters we are just keeping for now. I want to use them later in a recycling learning center that we are planned to open in the future. And I would put all the lighters up as a decoration, from like color coded. It will make a great picture. And
I
that
can
would be
send
used
you
for
a few
awareness.
ideas because a friend of mine actually made one tower of
Oh,
lighters. Yeah. So I can send you some ideas if you want to copy that or take a look,
that
get
would be
some
great.
inspiration, I guess.
That would be great for sure. We need something because we can't recycle the lighters. It's three different pieces.
Yeah.
So we could if we really took it apart.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm just collecting them for awareness. The ropes and the nets, there are two projects, either a net-free seas project, which is by
Hmm.
Environmental Justice Foundation. So there are
Yeah.
two kinds of nets that they collect, nets and ropes, and they send it to a company in Bangkok who makes the shield, the COVID shield.
Yes. Yeah.
So they make that from ghost nets, or let's say not ghost nets, gill nets, blue and
Yeah. The
clear
blue.
gill
Yeah. Yeah.
nets.
Yeah.
It's a very fine net. It looks a bit like fishing net, fishing
Yeah.
gut. Then there's a thicker rope, a PP rope that they use to make other products like coasters for glasses and things like that. So that's one thing you can do if you want to collect fishing nets. And the rest of the fishing nets we give to families in the village who then sell them and they reuse it for other things.
Okay.
So, you know, pretty much those 10 things that we collect, there are only two, or let's say one thing that goes to the rubbish, the incinerator, the general rubbish, and the rest can be
Yeah.
used for other things. So that's
Fair.
the plan, for the purpose, what we want to achieve.
Thank you for sharing that list because I think people need to know, what kind of trash they can maybe avoid. Because, for example, if glass bottles or sorry, plastic bottles like beverages is an issue, maybe you should take a disposable one, right? That you can just take home after use. So then that will never leave their house and end up in on the beach, right?
Sure, sure,
And
definitely reusable. Try and use reusable things as much as possible.
yeah, and I feel like education is really important. So just as a background, one of the reasons I restarted this live show, I was doing this last year for COVID, to inform people what's happening because daily changes were happening, but it got too much, just because it was really depressing. But this time around, I've kind of decided to get a bit of variety in the system where I talk about the serious stuff, but we also use this platform to inform people certain things, one of which is basically educating them on recycling and different things that are happening on the island. It can mean for it can range from Chalong underpass being shut down for 2 weeks during certain times to there's a beach cleanup in during this weekend, so come by and try to get people to stay connected. During this time, I have managed to get in touch with the Rotary Club of Phuket as well, and they are doing many big things in terms of new projects that they want to bring up. They have some new younger marketing people who are who have meetings every week or every 2 weeks. The last one was on Zoom. I missed it, but the last one was on Zoom, where obviously they're socially distanced, but they also need to speak about some grave issues that are taking place. One of which I was going to suggest that maybe we should connect you to them as well, and maybe get that group going as well. I feel like the more locally groups can get together and fight towards certain things, uh, that will make a bigger impact not saying that you have not. I've seen you work. You have made a massive impact on the island. So thank you
Thank
for
you.
that. And but I think the effort could be made even more grand than it already is. Um, but
Yes,
yeah,
please connect us. That would be great. It's all about networking, growing the network, and like you say, getting it out to as many people as possible. So if the Rotary Club want to be involved with that, that can be great.
yeah, and
Or
I have one last question. Well, it's not a question. This is not an interview. If it sounds like an interview, I'm sorry about that because I just want these to be casual conversations. Um, there is this beach. There was this beach in India, I think in Mumbai, which had like tons and tons of trash, and they basically took 3 years. The movement was started with this lawyer named, I think, Afroz Shah or Afroz Khan, and he basically started collecting rubbish, and now the team has grown and grown and grown, and there used to be like 5-6 feet worth of rubbish at a time, like
wow,
throughout the whole beach was covered, and now it literally looks better or almost the same as a beach in Phuket that's clean, which is a huge effort, right? And there were thousands and thousands of people involved. So, like, what would help you in the sense to bring as many people together as possible? Should it be official meetings then that then equate to meetups for beach cleanups, or wait, I got lost in my
so your
uh,
question is, how can we basically do what they did in India? How can we make it happen
basically,
here in
yes.
Phuket?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Then you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm following you. The network, having responsible people or people who
Hmm.
are um, able to coordinate, basically contact points at every beach. Okay. For example, we did that with Phuket Green Day. So I was coordinating Mai Khao, and there was like one person or one hotel coordinating each cleanup on each beach.
Hmm.
So if we can have that connection, have a meeting with all these groups who do this kind of thing, Trash Hero, One Phuket, of course, Sustainable Mai Khao, Kamala Green Club. There are many groups. Everyone comes together for a
Yeah.
meeting. It can be a Zoom call. And we think about how we can make it a monthly thing, for example, like have these monthly cleanups,
Yeah.
or people can have weekly ones if they want. But I think just like monthly cleanups, or maybe even twice a year if monthly is too difficult, for
Hmm.
everyone, and come up with a plan of how we can move forward. Of course, involving the Obotor, the national park, and maybe if we can propose this to the governor and
Hmm.
let the governor then send out a message to all departments to cooperate and to make this happen. If it comes from the government or from the governor, I think it will have a huge impact.
That is true.
For so
Yeah.
so
Continue.
for example, with Phuket Green Day, we coordinated, we discussed with everyone, but when we received that letter from the governor saying, this is what we're doing, please cooperate, please go
Yeah.
ahead, we had huge support. Okay, so that would be wonderful. And I think we can do it because the governor does see the urgency in this. If you saw just before the sandbox opened, the governor
Yeah.
announced Big Cleaning Day. And he mentioned in his talk that he wants everyone to take care of the beaches and see it as important because that's what 90% of tourists are coming here for.
Yeah.
So I think if we can have a meeting with the governor again and maybe list all those um, organizations and then propose that to the governor and say, please, please help us in just putting out the word, just starting it. We will do the work, but just give your endorsement and your approval of this. And then
And
I think we
blessing
can
for
move forward.
sure. I
Definitely.
mean, I think if we if you try to mirror an organization that has been successful in the past in maybe a different but similar kind of location destination, maybe that could help. But I'm sure you have plans at the ready as well. So I think that's what people want all the time. They want exact plans so they can say certain things about, like yes or no, basically. Yeah, but that's just me, I guess. I think I would actually love to have more people join us. Maybe I think for now, since this is free, I can invite up to 6 people. so so
Okay.
maybe we can try a weekly or a bi-monthly I don't know, call event where we can actually start discussing it, and then I don't have to be part of it, but you guys can go ahead, because I want to bring people together on the island as much as possible. There's excellent activities and things happening in Phuket, and Facebook does not do justice, because when you read the comments on Facebook, on a news agency Facebook page or something, then you just go like, I'm um, surrounded by idiots to some extent, because everyone's really angry at each other. They're making fun and stuff. But I know there are genuine people who are making a difference, like yourself, and it just needs to be done in a little better way, I guess. More marketing, I guess, more exposure, and continuous efforts to make a bigger change, I guess. Is there is there anything you would like to talk about? Because since this is a conversation, I didn't write any questions. I'm just going with it, and I'm loving it. But is there anything you really want to share? Because I want this to be done on a bi-monthly basis, at least. Where you come in, update us, and maybe we could help you. You could help us, me, in like growing and figuring things out a little better. So is there anything that we might have not covered that you'd like to talk about?
Just following up on what you said, I think if we do monthly or bi-monthly or talks, where we bring people together, that can be really good. And I will reach out to my contacts already and connect them with you so we can do this, because it's all about brainstorming and finding how we can work on this together. Okay. And then, yes, my message is exactly that about now we don't have tourists, but they're going to, well, very few. They are going to come back. So what kind of Phuket do we want them to see when they do come back? How can we spend this time, this quiet, difficult COVID time? How can we spend this time coming up with wiser ideas, better plans, more cooperation, and how can we do it in such a way so that when tourism does return, it's more sustainable and it's better. So this is what we are working on in Mai Khao for now, not only for the beach cleanups, but also for sustainable agriculture, farm to table concepts, ecotourism, community-based tourism, things like that. So in all of the villages around Phuket, in all of the districts, how can we start something beautiful that can sustain people so that they don't only need tourists to make money, right? And how can people like kind of go back to the old times, like planting your own vegetables, making your own compost. I know not everyone can do that, but how can we look at life in a different way? COVID has changed a lot and we have this new normal. So what kind of new normal can we create before we have floods of tourists coming back into Phuket? So I really think it's something urgent and something where many people need to come together from all organizations, all walks of life to bring whatever knowledge, to bring whatever experience they have and ideas, like an open table discussion. So please let us know, Zoe, when you would like to do that. And I'll see who can, from my side, who can join in.
True. Go ahead.
It is something urgent. People always, it is something urgent, really. Just like the life bags at the moment for people who are starving is urgent. I also think that cleaning the beach and making sure that we manage our rubbish correctly is also urgent, because it all goes together. So it's like I tell kids when I teach them, I say it's like we're on a lifeboat. We're all on this lifeboat together. We only have this lifeboat and it has holes and the water's starting to come in. And we have the tools to plug these holes really quickly. And some people are plugging them, Some people are making them, and some people just don't care, or they're too busy or on their phones. So how can we, like, what do we want? Do we want this boat to sink? Or do we want to try and stay on this boat as long as possible? It's a simple picture, but it's pretty much true. So, I mean, I know I sound like an idealist, but it's something we have to start doing, and everyone can do their share, from managing their rubbish to cleaning the beach when they can, or even just to sharing ideas.
Yeah.
And
One thing I'd like to add to that, when you talk about the new normal, this is an article that came out a few months ago, actually more than 6 months ago, when they were like, what will be the new normal that we go back to? Like, oh, what will be the normal that we go back to? Because in the past, and I know it was talking about different kinds of things. So, for example, do you really want to work for 10 hours a day at your current job, or different things that, do you want to, I don't know, party every night and not realize that you're wasting your life away or something? Um, Different things like that. But one thing that was major was, the whole idea of pollution and keeping things clean as well. So while we have been naturally somehow given this chance to reset the world and marine life and everything, what will we actually do to maintain it, or to make it even better, so that in a global pandemic doesn't have to be sent every few years to basically keep us in our places. Uh, so yeah, that's like, yeah. When you mention new normal, I just realized that has been talked about in the past in different kinds of ways as well. It's interesting. It's an interesting concept for sure.
it is, and like you say about reset, I mean, if ever in the history of mankind or of our lifetimes, this has been a huge
Yeah,
reset, a huge time
exactly.
for us to. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like for the past 100 years, there hasn't been such a global thing. And I think even if we speak about the Spanish flu or that, it wasn't as global in the past because we
yeah. It
didn't have
wasn't.
so many people and people were not traveling. I mean, this is probably the hugest thing that has happened to all of us.
Yeah,
And we have to take the good side of it and see how we can move forward in a better way to not just make the same mistakes.
true.
So the
I
question
agree.
is for everyone, which way are you going to go? Back to the old way, or are you going to make a difference and make it a better life? Because
I,
that's
I
what we
guess we'll
all need.
see.
I
I
know.
guess we'll see, but we can always try to, dig a course, towards the better instead of the worse,
Sure,
while
but
we're recovering.
sure. And I mean, people say when we speak about climate change, it's bigger than us because it's these big companies that are worth billions and they are the ones who are
Hmm.
polluting the most. And yes, I agree. But once again, it takes us back to what we first discussed about people pointing fingers.
Yes,
So, yes, we cannot change what the oil companies are doing like in a huge way, but we can cut down on our consumption. It's those little steps that
exactly. Yeah,
makes a difference. Everybody just doing a little bit or doing their part can contribute towards the bigger picture. And we must never feel that our contribution or our part is a waste or is of no use. It's like that story of the starfishes on the beach, right? That one way there were
could you
so
tell
many
me?
starfish. Let me see if I can remember this correctly. There were these kids walking along a beach. Of course, it's a just for a moral of the story kind of
Hmm.
story. And they saw all these starfish that had washed up onto the beach. And the one boy said, "Oh my goodness, what are we going to do?" And the other boy said, "Let's start throwing them back into the sea."
Hmm.
And he started. And the first boy was like, "Oh, we're never going to get there. We're never going to make a difference. It's going to take too long. It's someone else's job," all those kind of excuses. While his friend was just throwing the other starfishes or putting them
Yeah,
gently back into the sea. So let's say he couldn't save them all, but he managed to save maybe 10%, which would then reproduce and make more. So nothing is a waste. Don't feel like when you go clean the beach, oh my goodness, we're going to clean it, get 10 bags, but tomorrow there'll be more. At least those 10 bags you cleaned will not be there
I
and
agree.
will not kill those 10 dolphins, or pollute those, or kill the coral or whatever. So everyone can do something, even if it means going to buy an
Mm.
iced tea with a reusable cup or not taking a straw. We all do that. And if 10 people are doing that, or 100 people, or 1,000 people, or 1,000,000 people, can you imagine
Yeah.
how
True.
much we are saving?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Exactly.
don't feel defeated or overwhelmed. Just do your share. We all know what is right.
Yeah.
We It's just a question of, are we going to follow it or not?
Okay, fair enough. I think that's a good ending to such a fantastic conversation. Very educational.
Thank you, Zara.
But yeah, so I guess at the end of it, I'm just going to say that um, I'm here every day. Or try to live stream every day. So anytime there's any big announcement that you have something being set up, if I don't see it on Facebook or something, then please just send me a message, and so we can feature something on here. Whenever there are events happening, I want to be able to feature it, just in case. I think there's always bad news, but we're all kind of tired of bad news. Rather, go towards the good news, or just actually, mention activities and actions that people are taking for the betterment of Phuket and Thailand and the world in general. So please, if there's anything you would like to ever announce or something, just let me know, or just come back and see what happens.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you. Well, firstly, Thursday we'll be starting the monthly monsoon cleanups. Okay, that's
This
what I
Monday,
call it.
sorry, Thursday, right?
This Thursday. So it will take place on the first Thursday of every month.
First Thursday of every month. The next one is the second
That's
of
right.
um, what's after August? September.
September. So it's starting at 9 o'clock, probably from
Yeah.
9 to 10 or 9 to 10:30. I will
And
announce
where is
on
this?
my. It will be in Mai Khao village, but I will announce on my page exactly where the meeting point is.
Okay.
And we will, due to COVID restrictions, if we have a lot of people, we'll have to, of course, split it up into different zones. But no problem, everyone can park at the. There's like a
Okay.
big parking lot where people come and park their cars, and then they take the little taxis to see the viewpoint, the airport viewpoint. So I will
Okay.
post that on my page along with the times. I will bring bags and gloves, and we'll do the separation and
Okay.
weigh the rubbish as well.
I'm just sharing your page on. I mean, I'll put it on my socials as well, but I'm sharing your page on the stream just in the end, so people can see it. Anybody who's watching, this was Michelle from Sustainable Mai Khao. Please take a look at their page and follow them. They will be doing a cleanup in Mai Khao village on Thursday, next Thursday, but it is going to be the first Thursday of every month. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah? Okay.
That's correct.
Well, thank you
And
so much. Yeah, sorry, continue.
just yes, please message me if you have any questions about recycling, about where you can take your rubbish, things like that. So feel free to contact me. My email
Okay.
address is on there as well, or you could just send me. Anyone can send me a message on Facebook.
Okay. On
Okay,
sustainable, so you're the person who's responding to people on messages on Sustainable Mai Khao?
that's right. That's right.
Perfect.
As I said, we don't have a lot of staff for now, so it's mainly myself, and I have some people volunteering and helping. We hope to grow it later,
Okay.
but I'll be able to reach out and answer questions.
Fair enough. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Michelle. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
You,
Sorry,
you, you
uh, the
too.
s- the sun's almost gone over here, at least.
Not
But
here. Not here.
okay, fair enough.
Thank
Yeah, go to the beach, enjoy yourself.
and
Thank you
pick
so
up
much
some
for coming
rubbish.
in. If you want, yeah, do it. Do
Thank you,
take a
Zoe.
break from time to time, if possible.
I do. I kind of do that all the time, you know, but it's kind of like an eyesore as well. When I see that, I'm like, oh my goodness, I just came to walk my dogs. I don't have a bag. And then I find a plastic
Yeah,
bag. So then I just fill it up, you know, it's like
fair
that.
enough. Okay, keep fighting the good fight for us. Hopefully, we'll start assembling more people, and it could be a much bigger effort as well. Then you can have more people join in.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So
Thank you so
take care.
much. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye. Just have to decide.
Everyone, that was Michelle. That was a fantastic conversation with her talking about Sustainable Mai Khao, how she's managed to register it very recently. She's gotten the paperwork done, so that's beautiful. That's perfect, and um, that's about it. Just follow her page, ask her questions, let her know you listen to her stream. The conversation was very nice. We will try to organize things a little bigger as well in terms of different people we can bring about, like Rotary and different Phuket One or Blue Tree. We can all come together and have a chat. Hopefully, if it all comes up on the stream, that'll be nice. And just start a conversation and see what happens. Anyways, take care of yourselves, and I will see you not tonight since I've already done the stream today. So I'm trying to do one daily stream a day. One daily stream a day. I'm trying to do one daily stream. You will see me tomorrow evening after I get done with my work. Take care of yourselves. Have a good night. No, have a good day or night wherever you are. Bye bye.